Back in my day, don't you hate it when old people start a sentence that way? Old people, such as myself, often look back at their past as if there was something exceptional about it. They remember the toys and the food, movies, music, as if it was something special. In the world that their kids are growing up in, forget about it. Kids today just don't understand. The thing is, you look back at your own past through rose-colored glasses. It's confirmation bias. You remember the good stuff and forget about the bad stuff, so of course it seems great to you. But the truth is, the era you grew up in is no better than the era that your kids or grandkids are growing up in now. It just seems that way. So stop bragging about how great your childhood was. Unless, of course, you grew up in the late 60s and early 70s. That truly was the best time to grow up. We had the best of everything. I mean, the music of today can't compare with the music we had in 1969. You know, there's a lot of things from my childhood that I miss. And that's what we're going to talk about on today's show. So stay tuned. I'll be back. I tell you something that's going away very quickly. It might already be gone, and something that I'm really starting to miss, and that's physical copies of media. You know, records, cassettes, books, VHS tapes, photo albums. They're all disappearing. Nowadays, all this stuff just sits on your computer. Or worse than that, it's on the cloud, the mysterious cloud. You know, the thing that no one really understands and no one knows where it's actually at. Hey, can you show me your collection of Captain Beefheart albums? No, I really can't. They're in the cloud. The cloud? Where's the cloud? I don't know. Look, CDs and DVDs were the worst things to happen to big music and big movie. I mean, once you bought a record on CD, you owned it. You never had to buy it again. If you bought Beach Blanket Bingo on DVD, why would you ever need to see that on TV? If people buy this stuff and own it, then how are the big studios ever going to milk their product for more profits? And there's only so many times they can come out with new media formats. Now the big push is streaming, which is basically renting. They don't want you to own anything, and that's the way it's going. As long as you subscribe to a service, you can watch your favorite Ernest P. Worrell films or listen to that great Thunderclap Newman song anytime you want. But if you're not paying the monthly fee, someday you won't be able to listen to any of this. It'll be gone. And it's not just movies and music, but it's video games and computer software as well. No one wants you to own any of this stuff. I work as a graphic designer, and the company I work for doesn't buy a lot of their software anymore. They pay monthly usage fees, which allows us to use the software as long as we continue to pay the fee. And from a business standpoint, yes, it makes sense, but I have to admit, what I really miss is spending hours in a record store, going through album after album, trying to decide which one to buy, and then getting home and turning off the cellophane and carefully taking the record, the black vinyl disc, out of its case and sleeve and putting it on the turntable, gently dropping the diamond needle onto the plastic. And then as the music plays, checking out the artwork on this big album cover, which was a piece of art in itself, and reading all the liner notes. I miss that. You see, kids, in my day...
Hello everybody, Zephyr and Kiwis. I miss Oreo Big Stuff. I miss Bob's Big Boy. I miss saving up my allowance and doing extra chores so I can afford to buy a brand new box of floppy disks. Not to mention that wonderful new floppy disk smell. Thank you.
We didn't get a lot of video clips from viewers this week. In fact, Ephraim was the only one nice enough to send a video clip, and thank you, Ephraim. Everybody else, Rich and Brian and whatnot, had valid reasons why they couldn't, and I understand. I'm not angry at anything, but to pad out the show a little, I thought I would talk a little bit more about things that I miss from my past. And one of the main things that I miss is 8mm movie film. When I was a kid, we had these cameras that shot 8mm movie film. You would wind them up. I think ours was from Bell and Howell. And the rolls of film were pretty expensive, and you could only shoot 3 minutes at a time, and then you had to take them to your pharmacy to get developed. I took mine to a place called Ford Pharmacy. And then you had to wait a week to get it back, and then you put it in a little machine to edit it. It was like the reels. You've seen them before. The reels go on each side, and there's a little screen in the middle, and you would actually chop the film and retape it together to get it in the order you wanted it. I mean, home video now is a billion times better with a billion more things you can do. Yet there was just something, like I said this morning, about having that physical media in your hand. You actually held the movie in your hand. I miss playing in a rock and roll band. I did that for a few years. We were terrible. We sounded bad, but I enjoyed playing with those guys. But if I had to pick one thing that I really, really miss, that's getting up off the couch and not making that sound and not feeling like every joint in my body is hurting. That's what I miss. Kids, you don't get how lucky it is that you can just jump off the couch and start running. And anyway, a few things I miss. Oh, next week, send me a few video clips.
There are now 20 seconds to go. Hello, McLaren. Cape Shark calling. Everything in order?
Jeff. Hey, you there? I've been trying to call you. You're not answering your phone. Jeff.
Willy? What are you doing? What are you interrupting the show for?
So this week's show is about missing things, right? You know, I thought about that, and the more things I thought about, the more things I thought I was missing, and the list was getting too long. So I'm going to go with the theme of things I'm not missing. And what I'm not missing is not being able to find the Iron Maiden beer that I've been searching for a year. Trooper beer is here. And, oh, I happen to have one for you, Jeff, while I got you here. Here, take this.
Wow, thanks, Willy. How did you just... Well, thanks. I've been an Iron Maiden fan all my life, so how are we going to drink this?
Alright, now before I open this, because this is not your average domestic beer, Trooper beer, probably not a beer snob beer. I'm not sure how many beer snobs are drinking Iron Maiden's 666 Trooper beer. Might be an IPA, I don't know that either, but caps on, you tell me what to do. Where do we start?
Okay, Willy, I looked this beer up, and according to a website, it's not an IPA. It's what's considered an extra special strong bitter beer. And to be honest, I don't know what that means, but I'm going to tell you right now that this Iron Maiden beer is 6.6 alcohol by volume. Now, I know you're used to some sort of watery light bud thing or something, and that's only about 4%, so keep in mind, this is going to be a bit stronger than you're used to. And it's a very big bottle too. It's over a pint, so so the first thing you want to do, Willy, is you want to take off the top and then sniff the beer.
Come on! Ah!
One thing I miss from my youth are quiet Sunday mornings. Younger people might never understand just how quiet a Sunday morning could be like it was in Deerfield in the late 1960s. Sundays were different back then. Most businesses weren't open, and the few that were usually closed at noon. And banks, forget it, closed. If you didn't have any cash Sunday morning, you were broke till Monday. That's right, kids. There were no such things as ATMs when I was a kid. I remember getting up early and walking around the neighborhood and only seeing the occasional car, maybe one every 5 or 10 minutes, even on the busiest of roads. These days, even in the suburban neighborhood I live in, cars go by all times of the day and night. People are up and moving about 24 hours a day. Of course, the world has to keep moving because, well, there's money to be made. And I'm not saying things were better in my day. No, things were not better. Things were different. Probably worse. It amuses me when people say we need to get back to the good old days. Yeah, remember the days when there were separate bathrooms and drinking fountains for black and white people? When women couldn't vote and were expected to stay in the house and raise kids? When the infant mortality rate was like 30 or 40%? When we had world wars? Remember how the Black Plague killed a third of Europe? Yeah, let's get back to the good old days. Wishing for the way things were is one of those things, how does it go? Be careful what you wish for, your dreams just might come true. Oh, did I mention that I miss the quiet Sunday mornings of Deerfield, Illinois?
Now, one inexpensive movie camera takes 1, 2, 3 kinds of movies. Kodak's new Brownie movie camera, turret model, lets you choose the view you want. Scenics, medium shots, or close-ups. Just flip the lens, then sight and shoot. You'll get beautiful panoramas, colorful medium shots, and exciting close-ups, all without moving a step. You get 3 kinds of movie making, and you pay less than the cost of many one-lens cameras. Only $79.50 complete. Ask about easy terms. The Brownie turret is made by Kodak.
Well, thank you for watching this week's show. Thank you, Efren, for the video clip. I thought for a minute there I wasn't going to have any video clips for the middle section. Willy, we'll get back to teaching you how to drink quality beer next week. I hope I get more video clips next week. Next week's subject's going to be something a little special, a little different, and I think I can get some better video clips from this one. Next week we're going to talk about the Three Stooges. Yes, the Three Stooges here on the Coffee and Beer Show. So until next week, thanks everybody for watching. This is always fun. Viewership seems to go down every week, but what can you do?